Good evening. This is CTV News for Wednesday, December the 18th. I'm Sonia Shrivastava.
And I'm Patricia Malone. Thank you for joining us tonight. Well, Prince George's County submits its proposal to make Greenbelt the new location for a consolidated FBI headquarters. The plan and a joint letter of support from Maryland's congressional delegation were submitted to the General Services Administration Tuesday, the deadline for site applications. Baker sees Springfield as the biggest competition after Virginia's leaders named the city their preferred location yesterday. Nonetheless, he says Greenbelt has everything the GSA and the FBI have asked for, including close proximity to both Metro and the Beltway. Baker says bringing the agency to Prince George's would spark redevelopment around one of the county's most historic towns.
People who work in the FBI will be able to actually go out in the community, shop. Hopefully we can attract people who are going to live in Greenbelt and the surrounding areas. But more importantly, you look at what we've done in terms of putting in the infrastructure ahead of time. The governor has committed the infrastructure and the roads ahead of the time of the announcement. That has not been done in any other proposal that I've seen. And so we feel really good about where we are.
And the GSA says it plans to narrow the list of proposed sites in March and choose a location and development partner by the summer of 2015.
Well, one of the busiest travel times of the year is about to get underway. AAA Mid-Atlantic says 30% of all Americans are planning to head out of town. And as Byron Scott reports, that's an increase over last year.
Safety is your number one priority.
That's good advice from John Townsend of AAA, who says the holiday rush to get out of town is about to begin.
And we expect millions of people to be traveling.
And for the fifth year in a row, the numbers are up. Some 94.5 million people are expected to hit the roads, skies, and rails.
It shows that people really love the whole notion of being with their families and friends.
Planes, trains, and automobiles.
The Mollett family used all three modes of transportation. His family is from Texas, hers is from North Carolina, but for the last 7 years, they've been living in Guam. They'll be visiting family through the new year.
It was not too bad. The flights were full. Trains were full, but it was worth it to see family. We're hitting North Carolina next.
According to AAA, most travelers will be on the roads. Part of the reason is lower fuel prices. The average price of a gallon of regular gas is $3.18. But Townsend says there is another reason.
People have gotten burned the last 4 holidays traveling at Christmas by air because of all the cancellation and delays. So they say, well, hey, you know what? I'm going to take my chances. I'm still going to travel. And we're going to do it by car, and that way we can control when we leave and when we come and go.
No white Christmas for me.
Calvin Lewis is sticking with the skies en route to New Orleans.
Well, I want to see my great-grandchild. I didn't think I'd live long enough to see this, but since I have two now, I got to get home to see these kids.
And while Christmas Eve is typically one of the busiest travel days of the year, Townsend says this year, because the holiday falls on a Wednesday, he expects the big rush to get out of town to begin this weekend. In Largo, Byron Scott, CTV News.
All right, thank you, Byron. And AAA says this travel season could be the busiest one ever on record. Well, the National Capital Region Transportation Planning Board has released its long-term transportation analysis through the year 2040. The board says anticipated population and job growth in our region will mean more people on the roads. But according to a spokesperson, if the region continues to make improvements to roads and transportation, it could mean more folks will be carpooling and on mass transit.
Lawmakers have passed legislation to raise the minimum wage in Washington, D.C. This comes as officials in Prince George's and Montgomery counties pass similar bills. In D.C., the minimum hourly wage will increase in increments to $11.50 by 2016. Prince George's Council Chair Mel Franklin praised the move by all three jurisdictions, calling it a great partnership that will benefit area workers. Well, if you've been trying to sign up for insurance under the Affordable Care Act, you'll be glad to know that you have a few more days to do so. The deadline has been extended to December 27th. The reason is because of the problems that people have been facing getting on the site and enrolling. Just a few days ago, Governor Martin O'Malley announced that problems, including a screen freezing issue, have been fixed. A company has been brought on board to continue to fine-tune Maryland's Health Connection website. The state wants to get 260,000 enrolled in a health care plan by the middle of next year.